Welcome to our final educational session of Bowl Expo 2014. If you're here today with the beautiful weather outside at 4:15, you are committed. You're committed to learning, and we're not going to disappoint. We've got some excellent folks to be with you here for our final session. We have brought two of your very own peers to be with you. You've told us through the surveys that you learn best peer-to-peer, learning from each other. So we've got some folks with us today that really need no introduction, but I will give them a brief introduction and then let each of them tell a little bit about themselves, and they're going to be with you to bring this year's Bowl Expo education home here. First, Gerald Morrow is going to be with us today. Gerald is with the Buffalo organization. They own 5 bowling centers in the Carolinas, and so he's going to be with us. He'll tell you a little bit more about his role and himself. Gerald serves on our national membership committee and is very active on the state level and local level as well. And of course, our young lady that needs no introduction, but I'll give her one, is Miss Nancy Shenk. Nancy is your Vice President-elect, just approved at your membership meeting on Monday, so she'll start serving July 1st as your Vice President. She and her family have a 24-lane center in Fayetteville, North Carolina, B&B Lane. So we have some perspective here. We're going to bring somebody that has a single, smaller center and someone that has some multiple centers that they can share and hopefully touch and reach. They did this presentation at a former session for us. It was so well reviewed and so well attended that you asked for it to be back here at Bowl Expo. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Gerald and Nancy. Let's give them a nice Expo welcome.
Thank you. I think you can hear me, but I can speak pretty loudly. I'm an ex-cheerleader. I am Nancy. I own one bowling center in Fayetteville, North Carolina. My dad built it back in 1958. So we are about as traditional as they come, small concourses. I don't have room to expand. So I'm about as small and traditional as you can be, but we still do great stuff, and we'll get into that in just a second. Small side story before we get started. I think this is pretty funny. So this is my first actual presentation at Bowl Expo. I've done some little ones. But over here, our award winner for tomorrow, Mr. Michael Ducat, his very first seminar was given to my association, my local association, by my dad. My dad found him and picked him out. He was already on the national scene, but got him to do a great seminar. Here I am giving my first seminar, and he's in the audience. So. I'm doing it for free too, actually. So I didn't get the nice speaker thing, but I was already here anyway. So that's a little bit about me. Gerald?
I'm Gerald Morrow. I'm from the Buffalo Lanes Group. We have 5 locations in the Raleigh Triangle area. We've got a 42-lane center, 2 32s, a 24, and one that we just acquired last May that's only 18 lanes. We're very traditional, and to shock you right off the start, we do not serve alcohol at any of our facilities. So we are non-alcohol. No alcohol, never had it, never will. It's our owner's choice. They don't do it. So we've built that model since 1978 when the first center was built. So we cater truly to families, kids, and really just having a good time. I handle all their marketing, advertising, website, outside sales, inside stuff, technical stuff, everything nobody else wants to do, I get to do it. So, but we're here today. We both have a unique look at league bowling and league bowlers and what we do with them. And some of you sitting in here are like, well, I'm a single center. Well, Nancy has a single center. You guys can't do some of the things a big chain or a big group can do, but you can. You can scale it down and do it. And a lot of these ideas are things that Nancy has picked up from some of our shows, and we've moved through, and she's made them fit in her center, and that's what we're going to go over today.
Yeah, today's seminar is really about the league bowlers you have, and not to keep you waiting, we're going to talk about how to keep them. You know, it's much easier to keep those that we have happy than it is to go find new ones. So these are some of the things we're going to talk about today. We're going to go through them, stop us at any point, ask a question. We're going to give you actually a few good take-home ideas that we have really worked well in our centers. So a little bit more about me. I'll go through this quickly. Again, I am a traditional bowling center. I have 24 lanes. You can see that we do some pretty good stuff. 1,074 includes most of my leagues sanctioned and not. I have a few. I don't count my 8x8 bowlers or those type of programs into my leagues. But we do much better than the average of nationals.
As far as the Buffalo Lane Centers, we're going to focus on the 4 locations. Like I said, we just took over one about a year ago, so we don't have a lot of numbers. But currently, we added 76 new adult bowlers this year. We're looking at about 67 bowlers at our big center per lane bed, 27 at one location, 33. And our Irwin location is a unique model. We built this one 5 years ago, and right away we hit the ground running with these league bowlers. They were in a location that they didn't know anything about bowling. So we taught them league bowling is 17 weeks. And so they bowl 17 weeks, they take a week off, and they bowl 17 more weeks. And then they take a week off, and they bowl through the summer, and then they come back. So we don't lose any league bowlers there. They just keep bowling all year. They're excited because they get a payout every few weeks. And so it's been a different look at things for us with the short season leagues, and definitely with a market that is not really in the league bowling. We taught them what we wanted to teach them and keep them moving through the seasons. So that's kind of a little bit about Buffalo Lanes. I mean, we've got one of the largest youth programs at our North Raleigh location in the country. And that's helpful with our Saturday morning. My wife, Melissa Morrow, she handles the youth program there. But also we do lifetime sports. So we sanction our high school classes that come through our doors. So it's a way of building some bowlers and moving them through the system.
So the next slide is really important. I think that the philosophy of league bowling has changed. You know, no one, of course, unfortunately knocks down our door and wants to come in. We don't get to charge for vacancies anymore to a league, the good old days. Every morning is okay. I have morning leagues Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. They are not all big. Some of them are still the traditional ladies leagues. Some of them are senior leagues. Mondays is 6 teams. Yes, it's not a lot, but they like hanging out with each other. It's enough to pay for my staff to be there. It does not have to be big anymore. And I would tell you that it's just the opposite. It is no good to put different groups of people together. It's the quickest way to get everyone to leave. It's okay to have 2 8-team leagues next to each other. If the people will not intermix well, let there be 2 8-team leagues. We used to think the bigger the better because it made the prize list better. It's not about that anymore. It's completely being social.
And at Buffalo Lanes, we're pretty much the same. I mean, we try to get any kind of league bowler in the door, start a league, especially in the mornings, times that we don't have anybody there. You can have a small league. It's okay. But when we look at league bowling, you got to think about it. And think about this. We got to focus on the experience. We all have the same product. We all have bowling. We all have arcades. Some of us have laser tag, putt-putt, all that kind of stuff. But we're focusing on bowling. So it's not about the product. It's about the experience. And once a customer finds your business boring and routine, the treat factor is over. How many of you ladies in here go buy purses? You buy a purse, you don't really need it.
Yes,
I'm going to get myself in the doghouse, but you don't really need it. But you go buy it because you're treating yourself. And so that treat is there. So we got to think of league bowling as a treat. We got to keep it fresh and interesting and keep that treat going. If it's boring and you come in there for 34 weeks, and we all know our league bowlers, they walk in, they put their bag in the same spot, they go get the sweet tea at the snack bar, and they order the same hamburger or cheeseburger. After a while, it gets boring. So we're going to show you some ways to kind of add a little more interaction and just kind of keep it exciting. Make it fresh again. Make it fun.
So in cleaning up the other day at the center about a month ago, my mechanic brought me something. I don't know how he ended up with it. It was this notebook, and I wish I had it, but I left without it. It was produced by BPAA back on when it was still typewriters. And for some of you who've been around a while, you'll recognize it. It was called the Dream League. And it was a whole notebook we sent out. I so wish I had it. But you opened it up on the front cover. Now remember, this is back in the day of typewriters. It said we can no longer afford to do business the way we have. So we recognized this was an issue. I'm lucky enough, my leagues bowl for 37 weeks. I lock them in, I shut the door and say stay. I am that traditional. Yes, we have shorter leagues, but most of mine bowl 37 weeks. They come in every Tuesday night. They sit down. They do the same thing over and over again. If you are not providing any other entertainment, if you are asking your league bowlers to come every single week and not doing anything differently during those weeks to gauge them, it gets old. None of us want to eat at the same restaurant every Tuesday night, whether we like it or not, and then forget that if we don't show up, we're still paying for it. So these are some of the ideas that we're about to get into on ways that we have found really spice things up, and guess what? Just make bowling fun again. It's all about being fun.
I mean, your league bowlers are no different than anybody else. We like different things. We like to go different places. Some of you have never been to Orlando. This is your first time here. It's exciting. So a league bowler is no different. So you got to come up with stuff that's new, fun, and exciting for them.
At B&B Lanes, we give them 36 free games. We do all of this electronically, so why bowl at my place versus the next door? I've got, in my town, I guess I should tell you, I have 3 commercial bowling centers, including myself, and I also have 3 Army bases. So I have to compete with somebody who can do it much cheaper than me because they don't don't need a profit, unfortunately. So what do you bowl at my house? I'm going to give you 36 free games. That's 1 per week that they bowl. 99% of the people don't ever touch their free games, but it's something I can say, here you go. We let them bowl at a discounted rate of $1.99 when we're not running big specials. They don't get to do it during Cosmic Bowl and things of that nature. Discounts in our pro shop based on the number of leagues in which they bowl. So we have our pro shops, we do special offers to make it feel important that they're giving a deal. And we have an MVP program. Ours is through our computer, our POS system. Most of the POS systems these days have it, and you can do it. Ours gives them money back on all transactions they do in the center other than their league fees, and they can use those for points. They never expire. I expire the free games. I expire everything else, but the points I allow them to continually have.
So that's why you would bowl at Nancy's Center, and here's some of the things that we do, and we look at it as league bowler benefits. And it's easier to explain sometimes when you're trying to get somebody to be a league bowler or to keep them as a league bowler compared to going somewhere else or doing something else, to look at them as a league bowler benefit package. And so our packages have half-price bowling. We have half-price open play anytime you come in during your season. So if you bowl in the fall season, which all of our leagues except that one location are 34 weeks. So we're very traditional, 34-week leagues. We have a few new leagues here and there that are 16, 17 weeks, but most of them are traditional. So they get half price off of open play rates. At the 17-week center, we've decided to do a multi-league discount. And we have our normal league discount, which is the half price. And then if you bowl in a couple leagues, you're a silver member. So it makes them feel good. Now they're a silver member. They've got a little thing in the computer. It's got their name on it. It's under the silver members. The gold, 3 or more leagues. They bowl for $1 anytime they practice. So it's more incentives to bowl more leagues because anytime they come in, we're going to recognize them. They're going to get their discount. And now they can tell their buddies, hey, I'm a gold member. I'm a gold member at Buffalo Lanes Irwin. So that's some of our benefits. Another benefit is that we give them discount in the snack bar. They get 10% off. It may not sound like much, but it's a little bit. It's a little something. They can use it, pizza, sodas, whatever it is. Anytime they're in the center, even if it's not a league night, they get 10% off. And then we start doing exclusive tournaments just for our league bowlers. We do all kinds of tournaments, and this is a big tournament here. This is our annual team championship tournament, and you see the big prize fund, $20,000 prize fund. We just had this a couple weeks ago, and we had 102 teams. We had quite a few that were league champions, and then they can buy in for $250. It's a 5-person team. We make a big weekend out of it. They come out there, they bowl. We have a pro that shows up. They get some food. We give away some prizes. It's a huge weekend. And not only do the bowlers look forward to it, but our staff looks forward to it. It's a chance for our owners to come out there. The bowlers get to meet our owners, talk to them. They get to interact, have a good time with everybody. And you may look at that prize fund and go, it's $20,000. That's a lot. Well, we come up with it because we're taking a quarter of our league lineage and putting it away for this tournament. So a quarter from every bowler every week is going into that prize fund, and that's how we can come up with the money to cover this tournament. But a small center can do this too. Nancy can do this.
I do. Oops, I went too fast. Sorry. Ooh. There's two of us with clickers. There we go. Okay. So I heard them do this idea. Again, I'm the single center, not the chain. Sounded great. I was like, how do I do it? How do I do it? So after a year or two, I figured it out. I only have a $5,000 purse. I don't have a $20,000 purse, but I did the same thing. I went through, figured out at 37 weeks to get to that $5,000, 37 weeks divided by how many bowlers, what extra do I need to charge to get there? For me, it was a dime. It was a dime. And so when I raised lineage that year, I raised lineage a little bit because of expenses, but I also added a dime, and I told them what I was doing up front. That's the easiest dime I ever got through. I mean, when they know that it's going back to them, you won't get the kickback. It's a great way to add a quarter or 35 cents and keep a little more for yourself, but that's all it was. Do the math, figure out how you can do it. The other way is how you sell it. This is a no lineage event. They like the fact that they think they're getting something from me. Forget that they spent 37 weeks with me. This is a no lineage event. I also allow paid entries. $175 a team is what it is. I take out $30, $35 to help pay for food. I give them lunch. And then I put the rest into the prize fund. So it's most of it going back to them. We do this the first week of June. On a Saturday, my bar sales more than cover what I'm not getting in lineage for that day. Lots of beer. It's not a busy day in my center. So we've learned how to take one of those dead times, get my bowlers back in for a farewell party. One of the things we do, because I have a Cubica system, I'm not here as a salesman, one of the games they allow us to play is poker. And I know some states have very strict rules on gambling, so I'm not telling you to enforce this as a poker thing. But each week we play a game, and maybe you do too, some type of game. Ours we do for a royal flush. So when this poker comes up, you get cards on strikes and spares. And I'm going to walk through this because this is something you could do with a deck, because believe me, people will monitor themselves with a deck of cards. I can spit it out eventually. So we keep $1. It's a $5 entry fee. $1 per game goes to each game. $1 goes to the house, and $1 goes to the Royal Flush jackpot. It's completely random through the center. As you can guess, it would be random through cards. I can't control when it gets broken. I can't control when it doesn't get broken, but it doesn't get broken a whole lot. That money, it rolls over, and at the end of the year, and we take a little bit here and there to hold over. We don't take it from them, but just to seed the tournament. We'll do this again on a Saturday, usually the Saturday before or after Memorial Day, again, as everything's dying down, and I want people to leave me on a happy note. This year we gave out $5,000 in this tournament as well. The best thing about this tournament, and think about this as you do things, it's a $10 entry fee, mainly to just try to make sure you're going to show up. Free tournaments, even if they're free tournaments, I advise you to pay an entry fee. The loser, if you lose in the first round of this tournament, you get your $10 back. But it makes them show up. When you just give them things, they tend not to show up. The great thing about this poker tournament, and so can't play poker, figure it out, well, you bowl across, it's a random draw, and we're playing cards, so our scores don't count. So you had to get a spare or strike to get the card. But my husband, Gary, bowled in this, about the first or second year we did it, bowled a 300, lost out the first round because he didn't have the poker hand to make it. Again, something unique to us that our bowlers truly love. We have a singles championship. We do it in October. Again, these are league only. Sorry that you bowl somewhere else or you're good open play customer. I don't care in this particular instance. Singles championship. We do them about the October, right after everybody comes back. Again, it's on a Saturday before we're truly, truly busy. We've done them on Sundays as well. They become our king and queen for the entire year. That is the king of B&B Lanes, and that is the queen of B&B Lanes. So we have a little fun with it as they come in for league. You know, we get everybody riled up. Oh, look, the queen just entered. So it's a good way. And Valentine's doubles, I'm not going to talk too much about that, but it's a man and women's Baker format and Scotch doubles. It's just something unique different, not something they do every single day.
Now we have a tournament that we don't have up there. We do a youth championship tournament. Again, we do it in October. It's a singles tournament, but it's for our youth bowlers. And it's a youth bowler benefit because they had to have bowled the previous season and be bowling the current season to enter. It's a $4,000 scholarship prize fund, which is a lot of money. But again, figure out what will work at your center as far as that prize fund. But we do it in October, the weekend the state fair is in town. We're going to be dead, so we fill that weekend with the tournament. We get those kids in there and bowl a tournament. And talking about kids, kids like recognition, people like recognition. We all like to be recognized. And how many of you remember the old show Cheers? Everybody wants to know your name. You want to walk in there and people know you. And we've got to do that with our league bowlers. We do a pretty good job, but we can always do better. We want to make every league bowler feel significant. We want to make them feel like they're the most important person when they come through that door. You may be a senior bowler and you average 101. You're just as important to me as that guy that comes in here, bowls 3 leagues, and he shoots 4 300s this season. You're important to me. I know your name. I know who you are. I want to make sure that you connect with that customer, connect with that guest. And that's a theme that you've heard a lot this week, is making that connection. And it's important with open play bowlers, but it's just that more important with your league bowlers. Again, we're asking them to come in and do the same thing for 34 weeks. So we want to make sure we make that connection. We know their family, we talk to them, and we see that we are building a relationship there with them.
I'm going to go through this one super quick so we can actually get to the games. Again, I can't stress enough, make it unique. What can you do this week that's different than last week? What can you do to keep them guessing? People love to spin the wheel. If you don't have a wheel, you can get one online. They're truly worth it. Mine has my logo in the middle of it. We use it 1,000,000 times in 1,000,000 different ways. Everybody feels like Vanna White. You know, everybody loves that. So what are some of the cool things we've done that our league bowlers have really responded to? This is the one I did this year. It was called the 12 Days of Christmas. We started really small. You can see that day 1 was 3 free cookies. Day 2 was a B&B towel. 3 was a pin sipper, all the way down to a bowling ball. So why this worked really well for us and helped kept our customers engaged was I made them fill out a slip. I already have their information. You get it at the beginning of the year, but you know, emails these days change all the time. So I made them fill out a quick slip with me with their name, their telephone number, and their email. So 2 reasons. One, I got to make sure I still had the latest and greatest updated data. But second of all, it made them connect to the game. You know, if you just run a game in the background, half the time they won't see it. They'll just come in and they'll leave. I wanted them to engage with them, to let them know I was doing something for them, to make them part of the experience. So on this particular one, I made them fill something out. That got them engaged to know what was going on. And then every day for 12 days, we started on December, I think, 10th. So we finished on the last day of league season. I do give off Christmas. I mean, I might make you bowl 37 weeks, but I do give you off Christmas. So we finished about the 22nd, 23rd. You can see we put their names on and their league. And then you can see where I had to tell one employee, don't write up the winner anymore because it wasn't nearly as pretty as the other person's handwriting. But again, a very simple way, doesn't cost a lot of money to make your league bowlers feel important and to make them every time they'd come into the center, even the week after Christmas, who won? Who won? So.
Now, we did something this Christmas. We actually challenged some of our staff and our league coordinators, and we said, why don't you come up with some games that you can play in center with your bowlers, and let the league coordinator come up with it, run it, and give the staff the instructions so they feel like they own it. Well, a buddy of mine that's one of our league coordinators, Brandon Wilder at our Buffalo South location, he took it and ran with it. He went to Nationals last year for the first time, bowled the 40-frame game, and came back and said, man, that was fun. So when it came Christmas time, he's going to do a 30-frame Christmas game. So what he did is the same simple concept. He kind of wanted to take that game, rework it, and it didn't cost our bowlers anything to get into it. They just had to come to the counter and pick up the form and complete it while they were bowling. So again, we were able to do this for free, just kind of trying it out. And on the flyer back of the entry form that they were filling out, it had some rules. And he wanted to be funny. He wanted to see how many people read the rules. So he put on there, the winner's going to get a hug and 50 euros. So he was just trying to be funny, engage the customer, engage our league bowlers, and so many people would come up and go, well, am I getting euros, really? And at that point, he could talk to them and continue on. So it was a fun game that ran several weeks. Here's what it looked like. Here's what we put together. Each frame was a different thing. And for those of you that have downloaded the Bowl Expo app, all of these flyers and stuff are in the resources section for this presentation. So you can take pictures, you can download them. We'll even have some more stuff up probably after Bowl Expo. But you see, 9 geese a laying. So if you got 9 or better, you got that frame. You got points for that. Now there was one frame that's the 7th frame in the first game that was called the nice list. Well, it wasn't so nice. The only way you were going to get points in that frame, you got 25 points for an open. So you had to decide, do I want to make this fair? Do I want to strike? Or do I want to open and try to win this game? So it just got the bowlers talking. We posted standings through those weeks to kind of get them interacting and trying to figure out who the other bowlers were. And if you bowled multiple leagues, well, then you could bowl in the tournament multiple times. And all they did was fill out their score sheet. He printed the scores, went back and verified, put the standings up. Something simple, something easy, got a lot of talk, and got a lot of people interacting. It was something different. It was something different. It didn't cost us much. $50 is what it cost us, and then his time as far as making the copies and that kind of stuff. So it's nothing too much. But you finish up with Christmas, and you're right into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so what we've learned to do is really try to keep things current. So try to engage our customers in what's going on outside in the real world when they come into the lanes. It helps to sell it. It helps to make it a little more fun. So this is one thing that we did this year. We made a 5x5 square. Everybody's bought a Super Bowl square in their life, correct? Everybody knows how a Super Bowl square works. Everybody is also looking for Super Bowl squares during this time. You're getting in as many as you can. So we took that. We made ours 5 for 5 because we had 24 leagues. And this one cost me literally about $20. But again, it lasted 3 weeks. So I'd use the league president is who I had do this with, but the whole league got involved. We did it during announcements. We said the league president had the final say-so, but they got to come and pick a square. So just like you would a random square, the numbers weren't up there, and so we did it 2 weeks prior to the Super Bowl. So that puts us about the 3rd week of January. Everybody did it that week. They got to sign up. Then the following week, we picked the numbers. So the week before the Super Bowl, when they came in for league, they could see what their score they were hoping for. And then everybody came back the week after the Super Bowl to see if they had won or not. What did this cost me? It cost me, where's my little thing? There he is. It cost me free cookies for the league. That's what I gave away. Free cookies for the league. So the league that happened to win was 12x4, so 48. It cost me 50 cookies of hardly any cost. That kept my customers engaged and interacted for 3 weeks of their bowling season. Gave them something to look forward to other than just coming to bowl 3 games.
So again, these are some ideas, and they're simple and they're small, and you're like, oh, it's cookies. But everybody likes to win something. Everybody likes to win something, no matter how big or how small. So Super Bowl's over, and you move along in the seasons, and everybody gets ready for basketball season. We're in North Carolina, so a big ACC country. We're big in the March Madness.
Go Pack. Sorry.
Go Duke.
It's a big fight in our area.
So we do March Madness, and again, this is another idea that we had at the Buffalo Centers that Nancy took and modified for her centers. But we do a free entry to the top 64 men based on your January 1st average. We take the top 64 men based on your January 1st average, and we put you to an NCAA bracket. We take the top 64 women, put them in a bracket. And then we take the top 64 youth and put them in a bracket. So we have 3 brackets, men, women, and youth at each location. Winner of each bracket gets $200. Youth, of course, gets scholarship money. Talk about a lot of talk between the bowlers and a lot of traffic on your website. We put our own league standings up on our website, and bowlers are trying to figure out, what night does Nancy bowl? I got to see what she shot last night because I got to figure out what I've got to go in there and shoot. And so it just really breeds a lot of interaction. It gets your bowlers and talking to other bowlers, meeting other bowlers, and next thing you know, you might have a couple bowlers that decide, hey, I want to be on their team, and they form a new team in a new league next year. But also it gets your staff talking to them as well. And now Nancy took it, and they modified it a little bit, and they did their own twist on it, and they came up with some other stuff.
We did. So, guys, this is my absolute favorite of everything we're going to talk to you because a March Madness happens for the entire month of March. Well, how do you do it in league bowling? What maybe he didn't make clear is this is a random draw. So I bowl on Monday nights, but the person who I'm bowling against bowls on Thursday nights. So it takes a full week to do one round. So you've got a full week of 64, a full week at 32. Do it real quick. This is a 6-week interaction. So they came up with it at Buffalo. I thought it was really cool. Again, I thought they were a chain with a lot of money, just giving money away, woohoo. But if you think about it, it's $200, really a whole lot. You'd spend a lot more in marketing trying to get bowlers. But I was a little bit cheaper. If you know my dad, you'll understand. And I said, I'm going to charge for it. So I put a $10 cost to it. Now, I'm not making money on it. The purpose is not to make money. So first place gets $400. Second place gets $200. You can do the math. I collected $640. This sells out no problem. This sells out real quick. We've done it where we've even opened a second one. Now, since I have changed my mind, this is so popular in our center that I have gone and opened it back up and done a free top 64 men and a free top 64 women. This gives those people who didn't make it into those brackets an opportunity to compete, although a lot of the 64 will get in here. But then my favorite thing I've done is put one more thing on it, and I have the NIT. So not only do I have all the March Madness, this is my NCAA bracket. I have the NIT. This is what a bracket looks like, just what they're used to seeing. This is from the Buffalo Centers. I'm going to let Gerald tell you how much his web traffic increased by putting there on there. But the NIT, going back to the NIT, it is the 32 lowest bowlers in my center. It is the 32 lowest averages across my center. You know what? Most of them are either first or second year league bowlers. Most of them would never ever compete in another tournament. That is a free one as well. I give the winner $100. You know how good that's the person who's the happiest of all of them, because they'll never enter a tournament. You know, they're not that good. But I just gave them $100 for being the best of the worst. But we call it the NIT. It starts a week later, and we have a lot of fun with it.
Now, as you can see, I mean, this is tough to read, but it has the bowler, it has a league abbreviation beside the bowler's name, and then we fill it in with the scores right beneath the line for the bracket. And again, this is going to be in that resource center on the Bowl Expo app, so you can download it there. This is just an Excel sheet. Here's an Excel sheet that this is built on, and we put averages in. And it figures handicap, and it immediately populates your bracket, so you don't have to worry about it. So if you need that, it's going to be there. You can download it. It's simple to do, and again, you build that web traffic. You get people going to your website. You get bowlers interacting. You get people talking, because everybody wants to know, hey, who's Scott? Who's Scott? What league did he bowl in? They want to know who this guy is because he ran through the brackets. So again, it's just something fun, different, and I mean, look at the dates at the top. They're hard to see, but the first round ran March 3rd through the 9th. So now you've got 6 weeks. You've got your bowlers, your league bowlers, engaged for 6 weeks of competition. So it's something It's real simple to do. It'll be a big hit. We've even done a twist where we have a scratch bracket. These are all handicap brackets, but we're going to do a twist with a scratch bracket as well. So March Madness is done. March is over. We're in April and gets into baseball season. Again, we're tying things to stuff that in our locations people pay attention to, they like. We have a lot of baseball fans. And again, this was another simple game, kind of based off the 30-frame game like the Christmas one, but every frame counts. So if it's an open, it's an out. And you're trying to score as many runs as you can. We have 2 weeks of qualifying. Again, if you bowl multiple leagues, you can enter multiple times. It's a free game for us. But 2 weeks of qualifying, then we take the top 16 advancers, and then we do like a Major League Baseball playoff. But here's the sheet that the bowlers get. They're trying to advance the runners around the base. So if they get a spare, they got a single. If they get a strike, it's a double. If they get a triple, if they get a double, it's a triple. And if they get a turkey, it's a home run. So they're just trying to advance their runners around there. And it may be something that some bowlers may not understand, the baseball scoring and moving the guys around the bases. Again, it gives you an opportunity to interact with them and teach them this and help them and talk to them and be able to engage them. And again, 2 weeks, then we take the top 16 and we advance them through a playoff. That takes another 4 or 5 weeks. So we've got them engaged for several weeks here towards the end of our season, towards the end of our league season. Now, coming up with these ideas is the tough thing. You gotta think outside the box. You've got to look at your current events. You got to look at what's going on. And like we did in our center, we challenged our staff and said, hey, come up with an idea. Put it together. You'd be surprised at what some of your staff can do. They can come up with some ideas. They can come up with some good things, and then you can help them tweak it. Now, go ahead,
I'm going to interrupt. So I challenge the staff. One good thing there, what we do is we have employee-only games. Your employees are your sales force. I wish I could say I was in my center more, but sometimes I'm just not there. You're not there every single night. You may be there some, but your staff is your salesperson. You come up with these great ideas, but they have to be implemented. So the only way to do that is to get buy-in from your staff. So we have staff-only games. We have staff-only March Madness. Both a bowling March Madness, because that's a big one. And then we also let them do brackets on their own, like real basketball brackets. And the winner gets $25. It keeps them engaged to what's going on, keeps them up on current events. So figure out a way at a small minimal cost to train your staff on these. And really the best way, in a seminar earlier, it said, especially Gen Yers, they love to play games. So we play games. We play all of these games with our staff. And we have some fun. You got to get creative. So you have the 2 old ladies on your staff who don't bowl anymore. Let them pick a bowler. Have them pick their favorite. Way older. So I'm talking my 80-year-old lady who I can't, will never get rid of because she was there when I was there. But, she doesn't bowl anymore. I let her pick somebody on the morning leagues that she works with, who's her friend, who she's gotten to know. She bowls through them. So there's all sorts of ways to make sure that everybody can play.
Well, it's just like what Nancy was talking about the wheel earlier. When you start spinning a wheel in your center, everybody's going to turn around. They want to spin the wheel. They don't care really what they're winning. They just want to spin the wheel. So these games allow your league bowlers to be a part of that in-crowd. It creates that little bit of buzz, and then everybody wants to see, hey, what's going on over there? Why is everybody at the counter? Well, they're coming back with the sheet. I gave them $1, but that's not the sheet for the strike pot. So what are they doing? They come up, and now they're talking to our staff, and we're engaging them again. We're creating that buzz in the center. Like we were talking about earlier, we want to make sure that when you walk in our centers that as a league bowler, our staff knows who you are. We want to treat everybody like they're just as important, whether they bowl 3 nights, 4 nights, 1 night. We want to make sure that those people feel welcome. They want to feel welcome every time they come in there. They want to feel like they belong. And that's really what a lot of what we do with our league bowlers is that we make them feel like they belong. The games are not complex. The prizes aren't really that big, but it gives them a sense of belonging. They're belonging to a group. They're belonging to a competition. A majority of your league bowlers may not go out and bowl tournaments, but here it is. They're bowling their league night, but they're actually part of a tournament. So it gives them a sense of belonging. And we've got to get our staff to make sure that they listen. And we were talking about that earlier in a couple of other seminars. The most important thing is you've got to be a great listener. People have their home and they have work. And then they have us, that third place in the middle. And sometimes we just have to be there to listen. They've had a bad day at home, they've had a bad day at work, and they're going to come in there and you're going to go, hey, Jim, how's it going? And he's going to go on for an hour. But like Nancy will talk about, Starbucks has made a living on this. They're that third place.
Yeah, if you haven't done any research on what third place is, I highly recommend it. So, but in a nutshell, it is these people have three places they go: home, work, and really one other place. They visit occasionally on other places, but they have that one other place. It's either a favorite restaurant. Starbucks has made a heck of a lot of money being that third place. There's a reason there's free Wi-Fi there. There's a reason the drinks are big. They want you to stay. Folks, we are the ideal third place. We get you in there and we keep you in there for about 2.5 hours. So think about how you can be the third place that they never want to leave, or better yet, they come back for a second night or a third night. There's lots of information on the internet on how about being that third place, but that's it. And if you look at your own life, you'll see that too. For most of us, or I think for all of us, that third place is the bowling center. But we're there because we love it. You know, most of us got into the business somehow, some way. Very few of us got into the business just because we had never bowled before. There's a few. But it is our third place, and it has to bring, you have to know their name. These games that we've talked about, and we're going to show you a few more as well, or at least one more at the end, but we've just occupied, if you add it all together, we've already occupied about 17 weeks of your 30 weeks. So for 17 weeks, we've already given you ideas to make it unique, to make it fun, to make them want to come and say, what's going on this week? I get to see my buddies, but what's going to go on this week? What's my surprise?
So again, we were talking earlier about recognition, recognizing, and that's a big key to success. And what we do with our leagues, that shouldn't be any different. Yeah, sometimes you go and you lay the keychains or the magnets down on the tables and the bowlers get it. But we got to present those awards in front of the leagues, especially the big ones. Whether they're big or small, they're big to somebody. I mean, I may not be a great bowler and I may have a low average, but if I get a 150, 150 pins above my average series, that's an accomplishment to me. You've got to make me feel good and not just go, oh, here's your award and be done with it. Take those pictures, post them on Facebook. We video from phones, and we encourage our league bowlers to, anybody that shoots a 300, video that last shot or that 800 or 299. Post it on your social media sites. Those are the posts that are going to get the most traffic, especially with all the changes in Facebook and all that kind of stuff, and that's a whole nother topic. But again, that's the post that's going to get the most traffic. You're going to get thousands of people because Johnny is going to shoot 300. His family's going to see it. They're going to share it, and it's just going to go gangbusters out there. So you want to make sure. Display their names in the center. A lot of you have point-of-sale systems and stuff like that that you can put digital displays. Put their names up there. It always makes you feel good to come in and go, yeah, that's my name up there. I shot 300. Makes you feel good. My name's only been up there once. It probably won't be up there again. But it made me feel good. It made me feel really good to have it up there. And again, it's keeping those bowlers engaged, building that relationship, giving them that recognition. Bowlers are like anybody else, especially league bowlers. They have an ego. They want you to make them feel good. They walk in, they know they're good. Yeah, I'm good. They want you to recognize that they're good and make them feel good. Make them feel good about themselves. Again, you're building that relationship with that recognition every time they walk through that door.
Before we talk about this, one of the things, so another game, another idea, something else we did that's easy to implement for you back home when you go home. This was a season-long thing completely on our Facebook site. Again, my husband Gary happens to be an excellent bowler. You have that person on your staff who's that excellent bowler, or not necessarily even excellent, but the one that customers want to bowl with, the ones that customers navigate to, whether it's the fun encounter guy. But you do. It might be your pro shop guy, the one you can count on bringing in a full team. So every week for 36 weeks on our Facebook site, y'all have already learned that I have an accent this week, right? So we said it was Guess Your Scores. It was Prediction Thursday. So it can be Prediction Tuesday, it can be Prediction Wednesday. It was Prediction Thursday. And by 6:20 p.m. Eastern Time, anybody could guess what Gary's series was going to be for the week. Closest, we always use Price is Right rules, so closest to without going over was the winner for the week. The winner for the week really got nothing other than a free towel if they wanted it. I think actually 2 of the 36 people took the free towel. But what it really was at the end of the season, if you were the winner for the week, you got entered into a drawing at the end of the season for a bowling ball. So this 36-week promotion cost me a bowling ball. You can maybe give something else. You can give whatever you want, get someone to donate a gift. But for 36 weeks, these were my best posts each week. Everybody would just put on there 650, 690. If Gary had a bad night, everybody liked to jab at him, put some jabs in at him. So again, super easy. It would come up Thursdays about 1 o'clock. You can schedule all this stuff now on Facebook so you don't have to remember. But a 36-week promotion that helped engage the customers and made everybody talk to each other and have a good time. So another simple game to keep everybody involved and wanting a little more.
So now we've got the bowlers and our league bowlers, we've got them happy, we've got them engaged, we're doing stuff with them, they've got tournaments, they've got the March Madness, all that kind of stuff. But we still want to add more league bowlers, don't we? We want to keep growing our league bowler base. And so we've got to work on increasing our traffic in the center, because the more traffic you have, the more opportunities you have, the more data you're going to capture, and the better off you are as far as moving those basic casual bowlers. You're going to move them through the center, and then you're going to get them involved in something. They're going to become a frequent casual. And then you've got the programs that I'm sure you've heard about this week, the Bowling 2.0 and the 8-for-8s, to get these people engaged, get a bowling ball in their hand, and work them through the system. Think of your league bowling as a farm system. Look at Major League Baseball. Kids come out of college or come out of high school and they're superstars. Very few of them go right to the big leagues. They start out in the minor leagues and work their way up through the system and get introduced and hone those skills. So we want to make sure we do the same thing with those bowlers that are coming through our doors. We want to help them bowl better. Bowling's no fun if you just go out there and you throw gutter balls and you don't knock down pins. It's not exciting. It's not fun. But if you get out there and you knock down more pins, and then you can start beating your buddies and razzing your buddies saying, hey, I beat you last week, now it becomes fun. It becomes engaging. But again, when those bowlers come through your door, those guests, we're not going to hit them with, hey, you want to join a league right away. They're going to say, nope, that's for the pros. Nope, I'm not good enough. So we're going to kind of just gradually increase their traffic, capture that data, walk them into a Bowling 2.0 class where in 4 weeks they're going to start knocking down more pins in no time. And then we're going to move them into an 8-for-8. And now they've got a bowling ball. So, of course, now that they've got a bowling ball, eventually they're going to get a bowling bag, and they don't want to wear our stinky rental shoes, so they're going to buy shoes. And then we're going to move them into a club, a fun club. We're not going to move them into a league. We're going to avoid calling it a league as long as we can. From one of our fun clubs and 8-for-8 programs, we have a young lady that bowled at one of our centers, and she bowls there now, and she's actually going to the National Junior Gold Tournament this year for the second time. Her and her mom signed up came in for an 8 for 8 program. I happened to be the coach on the pair. She was 15. She wanted to use a 6-pound ball on bumpers. Not happening. I was the bad guy that said no. But we got her knocking down more pins. And she got excited. She got energized in the game. And next thing you know, she's in there getting a fingertip ball and getting a reactive ball. And she bowls Saturday morning. And then she started practicing, got private lessons. And now, second year in a row going to junior gold. She's qualified again. That's the kind of stuff, how you build that bowler. It's, again, we made that personal connection. We didn't just throw them out there on the lanes and go, hey, you're getting a bowling ball, we'll give you a couple tips and an 8 for 8. We were down there. I worked with her the whole time. And now her mom bowls as well. So we've moved them through the system. Now hers is a case that she advanced very well. She had a lot of talent. She was a dancer, so she picked up on it. She could control her body. She could move. She was skilled. She was athletic. So it went well. It went well. But you can do that with anybody. You can move them through the system and let them have fun. But you got to think outside the box. We've got to look at different leagues, different clubs. We don't always have to call them a league. Call them a fun club. We had a group at one of our locations that they started out at one of the 8 for 8s, and then they went to a 10-week fun club, and then that finished. They went to another 10-week fun club and another 10-week fun club, and they just kept bowling. They took 1 week off over the course of 2 years. They bowled. They enjoyed it. And it was a family outing for them. It was a family event. It was youth and adults, and they enjoyed coming in there and spending the time together. But we don't want to take these new bowlers and go, well, I've got a league open on Tuesday night, and I need a bowler. Let me put that new person in there. Wrong answer. That person's never coming back. And then we definitely don't want to shove them into a league meeting. We know how some of those go. That'll scare a league bowler or a new bowler away in a hurry. So we want to make sure that we guide these new bowlers to where they belong. And if that means starting a small league, if it means starting a small club, if it means later it's non-traditional, maybe it's not sanctioned, maybe it is, leave those details out. Just let them have fun. You'll put that standing sheet down there, and they'll start asking you questions. And those wheels will get turning. Well, which team's winning? Why is my name there? And then you can start explaining things and moving them through the process. Now we've got a quick take-home game. This is one that we're going to kind of start at our location. We hadn't got it completely off the ground yet. But we're here at a beautiful golf resort. U.S. Open finished up. So everybody's in that golf mindset. Tiger Woods is coming back. Who's excited about that? Excited Tiger Woods is coming back to golf. There's a fan over there.
Golf is exciting.
You don't have to have a golf course nearby.
PGA.
You've heard the golf and bowl tournaments and all that. Again, we don't have to go outside the center. You don't need a golf course. You can take each frame like we were looking at with the baseball one, and a birdie, par, and a bogey, and keep it that simple. A strike is a birdie, a spare is a par, and an open is a bogey. I mean, how simple is that? You can have plus and minus, keep a running total. This can be a single game, or we can take it and turn it into a series and run a series of these tournaments throughout your summer months, and then have an end of the summer kind of tournament where your winners get invited, kind of like a player tour championship. They get invited to that tournament. And if you want to, what we're going to do is we're going to keep points. Just like the FedEx Cup, we're going to keep points. And so those point leaders are going to be invited to that one-day tournament. A simple game. But you could run this the entire summer. It can be something fun and easy to do. Now, you can work out the details if you want a strike to be something different, or if you want to put sand traps on your little sheet, and if they get a strike in this frame, they get a hole-in-one or a double bogey if they don't strike. You can do that. Cater it to your center, your bowlers.
Another game, not on there. We have all these games for our adults, and that was easy. I wanted to know what I could do to spice up my kids' leagues. You know, I don't want to get them in trouble, don't want to offer. So we both the Buffaloes and we run March, first of all, we run March Madness for our kids as well. It's a youth scholarship that's awarded at the end versus actual cash. So think about that. A lot of these games can be done. One of the things I do at Easter is I hide Easter eggs all through the bowling center. Very simple, right? The plastic eggs. Inside each number, I had a picture of this, but we didn't put it in. Inside each egg is a number, 1 through 5. 1 correlates to a free drink. 2 is a free cookie. You can make them whatever you want. But 2 of them are extra special, and they're big Easter bunnies, the huge Easter bunnies. So that whole idea cost me maybe $17, $18, even figuring out the soda that I gave them for free, which, I can handle a few pennies here and there. But it was a way to interact. Now, every week, this year, I was a week later doing the Easter egg hunt than they thought. They're like, Miss Nancy, where's the Easter eggs? So don't forget about those youth bowlers. Those youth bowlers will leave us during college. That's okay. They'll come back. If we give them a good positive experience, it's okay to lose them for a few years. Well, they'll come back eventually and start to bowl. But think about what you can do for your kids. Make this current. The golf game came out of nothing more than, yes, we like golf, but the U.S. Opens were at our area. So while you saw the coverage, we got bombarded with it. So we took something local, made it into something that we could engage bowlers with at the center. And you can do the same things in your areas.
All right, we've got a few minutes left, so if we've got any questions or comments, or if you have a great idea, we'd love to hear it. We learn from each other. That's what we do. Anybody?
Yes, behind.
Talking about the Easter thing, I'm new to this bowling industry. I've been less than a year, so it's my first expo as well. But I wanted to do the redhead pin strike, but a golden pin strike. And Vector Plus won't change that color from red to gold. So I actually had my mechanic take some yellow pins that we had from our cosmic bowling and throw them in random lanes. And when the customers or the kids got a strike on one of those pins, they either won a present or a free game pass or free ice cream. And my center was packed all day and all night for Easter.
Great idea. We use redhead pins a lot too, but we use them for our kids at Valentine's Day. And I have all sorts of Valentine's candy hanging around. So I do theirs based around the holidays a lot.
You were talking about different games for the kids. We did an eliminator for our kids, flipped it a little bit. They pay $2 to get in it, and we do give it away in scholarship. But you stay in the game if you bowl your average. So the longer they bowl their average, they're still in the tournament. So we'll separate that with our junior league and our prep league, and it's funny, the younger kids stay in it longer than the juniors, seniors, but they've really enjoyed that. It's based on their own bowling ability.
Again, another good idea. Good idea, because you want to keep the youth engaged just as much.
This one actually kind of coincides with what she just said with an eliminator. I run a center in Springfield, Missouri, but the owner actually is proprietor for 3 centers. What he does at the end of the year is he puts $1,000 into a sweeper, which $1,000 is kind of a large chunk of money, but when you have 72 leagues that are bowling, anyway, every week from January to the end of March, you do 1 qualifier every week for the most pins bowled over your average in your league. If you're the one that draws, you announce their name, you make a big deal of it. They go on the lane when practice is over, right before everybody starts. Based on their average, if they average 149 and lower, they have to get a 9 count. If they're above that, they throw a strike. If they throw that strike or 9 count, they win $10, which generally pays for their league for that 9 anyways, or it entices them to go spend it somewhere else in the center. Plus, they qualify for this end of the season thing, and it runs with closest to your average without going over. Your average being what you qualified on that time. So if you get better throughout the year, you might have to bowl a little off, but it's just something to keep your customers engaged, give them something to look forward towards the end of the year.
Another good idea there. And like he was talking about, the instant gratification. They're winning something that night, and that's so important.
I just have a question about the March Madness. When someone's absent, you use their blind score to carry it through?
Yeah, with our March Madness, what we do is it's their absentee score, so it's their average minus 10. Now, if you miss 2 weeks, you're automatically eliminated. We do that so that way we don't have people trying to play that numbers game. We eliminate them if they miss 2 weeks of the March Madness. And they've got to be a regular league bowler. And that runs into a little bit of a gray area with our rosters, but the rosters, the top 5 guys are the ones that are eligible as of January 1st. Again, January 1st averages is what we use.
Yeah.
We have a sponsor of a league that bowls at our center on Monday night, and we call it Friendly Mixed Nuts. And he actually created a character called Nutsy. And she wears a bikini right now because it's in the summer. But Mr. Dersheimer is a local insurance agent, and almost every other week we have some kind of a special promotion that he has developed that really, really has brought excitement into the Mixed Nuts League. We have 20 teams bowling this summer, which we would have normally only had about 12.
Great.
We set up a special split. When the guy oils the lanes, before we set the pins up, we have a special split that we set up in advance, and they come in prior to practice cold, no practice, pin setter on the lanes, and they choose one player from their team to shoot the split. He videos it on his iPad, he makes a video of it, puts it on Facebook, and it has brought so much attention, and he gets prize money to it. And we did Lost My Head, making the strike without the head pin. We had 2 girls that made it that night. So, and it's a lot of fun. So, and he's the sponsor of the league. And oh, by the way, he has a team and bowls in the league.
And she hit the nail on the head right there. And I know we got a couple more ideas, but we're really trying to get back the fun in league bowling. I mean, you can still compete and be serious, but you still got to keep that fun factor in there.
One of the leagues that I participate in at a center, they did a fantasy draft within the league where guys paid a fee to be a team captain, and then they would draft and keep standings, and then the center gave away a free pizza to the winning team. Just didn't cost much, but it kept kind of fun, and people got to know the other people in the league a little better.
One thing we did, and then we'll move on. We all have great ideas, and I stole this idea from Kathy DeSocio, so Ray probably knows this one, and I took it and twisted it. So remember several years ago, Minute to Win It was on TV, very hot game show. So again, think about how you can incorporate TV into your third place. So Minute to Win It we did over the summer. Every week, every league came in, and we did it via the league. We were going to do a house championship, but it didn't work. So each week we would randomly pick a team on the league. So it was team number 4 this week. And team number 4 then picked their bowler they wanted to represent them. So it was a team thing, but only one person got to do it. So if their team won, if that person ended up winning for the league and had the highest score, that team got the prize, not just that individual. So there was a vested interest to pick who you wanted to do it. So it was Minute to Win It. So they had 1 minute to knock down as many pins as they could. The catch was they had to use 6-pound balls, and it was over 6 lanes. So they got a cardio workout there. They'd run up, throw the ball, come back, go to the next one. We practiced it out. I should tell you, you should practice all these games out. If you come up with one, score it, get people to do it. But it took 6 lanes because that was about the right amount of time. We put the machines on the second ball, so when they would throw the first ball, it would reset to a full rack. So we figured that out in testing. But by the time that they had about 6 lanes, depending on your speed of your machines, it may be 4. But by the time they would throw a ball, run 6, come back to this one, this lane had already reset, was ready to go. And they got through 6 about twice, was about as much. Some of the faster ones maybe circled back around once or twice. And we kept the scores. And so Team 4 did it this week, then Team 7 did it next week, and then the league champion got something. The team got something. I don't even remember what it was. It was so small. But Guess what? Everybody showed up to the center about 15 minutes early, kept them engaged. So what TV show can you turn into a game? Everybody still remembers Minute to Win It. You can maybe figure out a different way to implement it. But there's lots of simple things. The prize isn't important. It's the interaction. It's the game. It's making people have fun.
And in wrapping up, that's really what we're here, is we're all here to have fun. And our league bowlers have got to have fun, and we've got to help them have fun. And doing these little things, they don't require a lot of time, a lot of effort. Some of these, you can take them right now, download those resources, change the logo, or put your information on there, and they're ready to roll. Get your staff engaged, let your staff play the game so they know how it works, and then put it out there. Tweak it. Change it. Modify it so it fits your center, your guest. It's within what you can do. Again, we have 5 locations. We can do things a little on a bigger scale. A single operator like Nancy, she's going to scale it down and do something a little smaller, but everybody can do it. And again, these prizes weren't big. It was about winning. It was about having fun. It was about being a part of that in crowd. And again, fun is contagious. And if you want more league bowlers, they're going to be your advocates. They're going to get their buddies that they work with and their friends to come in and fill those leagues. If there's a spot in the league, they're going to get somebody to come in and fill that spot for you, because they're going to go to work and talk about, hey, man, I'm in March Madness. And the guy is going to be like, well, yeah, I know you're in the office pool. And he's going to say, no, I'm in March Madness at the bowling alley. And then he's going to ask some questions, and it's going to go from there. Now, we just want to thank you guys. I know we've kept you a little longer.
No, we're actually short. We're actually short.
We're a little short, so we've got a few more minutes. A few more minutes if we have any more questions or comments.
If not, you're going to have the thunderstorm out there.
Just an idea.
I knew one.
Just got into a center, and I'm changing around. I asked the owner what he did for the honor scores. And what he would do, he would give everybody $100.
Somebody wants a survey.
That's probably kind of maybe what everybody does. But my thought process is, why give them $100 when we can promote our center? So that $100, what I started doing is taking 10 cents for every bowler and putting it into an account. Then that way, that money that we have for the honor scores, we're going to give jackets. You can get a jacket for $30. I still got $70 to play with. And with that, at the end of the year, we're going to have an end-of-the-year banquet where all those honor score people are going to come to the banquet. And I'm going to give them, since USBC, you can only get one honor score now for the rest of your life, I guess. So we're going to give them something that's going to pertain to them, maybe a little plaque. Something's going to cost me maybe $10 that they're going to feel very appreciative of. Plus they get the banquet. And I'm going to do this for every league. So everyone that bowls an honor score, they're going to get invited. Every league that doesn't have honor scores, because there's senior leagues, there's other leagues. If they don't have an honor score, their highest scores are going to come to the banquet. And then at the end of the season, I'm going to also, with that money, because 10 cents per bowler every week, just think about how much you're going to just put into a different fund for this. And at the end of the season, also, we're going to have an end of the season tournament for every league champion.
It's a tournament.
Okay, so every league champion is going to come. We're going to invite them in. They're going to bowl a league tournament at the end of the year.
It's a
and we're going to call them the house champion. We're going to give them the house champion. And like you said, recognition, what we're going to do, we're going to put their pictures up. We're going to take pictures. We're going to do all that. We're going to honor them with that. It's going to be up there all year. They're our league champions, for house champions. And not only that, they're going to get honored at the banquet also. So it's just something where, not much, 10 cents, 5 cents per bowler, 10 cents per bowler, put in a different fund. Believe me, you're going to have a lot of money left over even after all that.
I got a question back here. Mark needs the microphone. Mike. You didn't catch it. I said it's a tournament, not a tournament. It's the whole thing.
I have 2 comments. First one is Bruce Davis in the room?
I'm the one who says it wrong.
Bruce Davis used to run the Chamois Burt tournament when he owned the bowling centers in Toledo, Ohio. And he always started out the tournament with what he called the chamois whammy. How many of you are familiar with that? Okay. And what that is that he had a representative from the team, that each team in the tournament, go up to the line. Everybody threw their ball at the same time. By the way, he turned off all the lights. That made it even more interesting. Everybody that had got a strike continued standing, and they kept throwing until they had the last man standing. In his case, it was a $5 entry fee per team. That team won $120. We've converted that to most of our leagues, where we start the evening with, we call it a lot of different things, last man standing, whatever it is, and we pick one bowler in a league, one bowler on a team. Might be the second bowler on the team, or the fourth bowler, and we ask them to get to the line, and they're bowling for their team, and the last man standing wins whatever our prize is that night, and it is either a pitcher of beverage or a pizza. And it doesn't take very much, but it really gets everybody excited and starting. The second thing I'm going to tell you, we do this Bowler of the Week honor. Every league has a bowler who has bowled the most over average. And that bowler for that league is the Bowler of the Week. That bowler qualifies for an end of the season free tournament that we put up money for. And there's about $800 to $1,000 that we put up money in each center. And what happens is that every week we also have a Bowler of the Week of all of the league winners, and they win a meal for two. In one case, we get a $25 certificate from a jeweler down the street, and they win the $25 certificate. It's all over the map, depends on the center, but everybody is winning something. Could be tickets to a movie theater and what have you. And at the end of the season, everybody in all of the leagues get together that have qualified. And by the way, nobody qualifies a second time, and it's for the highest male and highest female. So you can literally qualify the whole house. In our case, we'll have 200 to 300 to 400 people that will show up for the tournament. We run 3 or 4 squads on different days, and they all come in. They're all bowling for this $800 or $1,000 prize fund, and they pay for themselves by all of the bar business and the food business that they get. So, and it just generates a lot of goodwill.
You know, that's what bowling's about. So while Mark's talking, I like his last man standing idea, giving him a pitcher of pop or beer, whatever they like. But I'm thinking it one step further. So I'm going to take your idea, because I do it in a few leagues, but not all of them. And then why not bring back the winners, so they're competing for that team, but bring back the winners on a Sunday morning at once a month for a prize for themselves, a way to get them back into the center. So again, take an idea, figure out how to get double use out of it. So make it about the team maybe on team night, but figure out a way to get them back in the center and give them something else. I haven't figured it out all the way, but I like it. So when I figure it out, I'll share.
Real quick, Nancy mentioned the minute to win it, which reminded me, and how we do that is every summer we wrap our summer promotion around a theme, and we have a tournament at the end. But the year before we did the mile, bowl the mile, and how that figures is 88, obviously foul line to head pin 60 feet, 88 times 60 is 5,280 feet, which is a mile. So it was first ball only, so people bowled 88 frames. They would win to get into the tournament. They would qualify to get in the tournament, bowl 88 frames, first ball only. So I know that sounds like a lot, but that's the equivalent of bowling 4 games and never getting a strike. You had to bowl twice. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. The mile, they had quarter mile, so every 22 there was a quarter mile prize that they could win and stuff like that. But it was exciting. But if you ever want to do something like that, it's pretty crazy.
Another good idea, Getting back to the honor roll thing and your honor scores, we do an honor roll tournament. We used to give money away for shooting an honor score, and what we do at the end of the year now, and ours is coming up here next month, is it's a free entry. You just have to shoot an honor score, and then it's $1,200 prize fund. And we break it down. We only pay the top 3 spots. It's just a short 3-game tournament, nothing to it. And if you bowl an honor score, you're entered. You just have to let us know that you want to bowl. And then another thing with recognition, like our team tournament, we do team pictures. Those team pictures, they can purchase them. They also have a poster that gets hung on the wall in the center with all the teams. So if you bowl in the tournament, your picture's up there for the entire year. And pictures are another big way to recognize. And our kids, we have a junior gold team and a junior gold program at our centers amongst all 5 locations. And this year we're taking 44 kids to junior gold to compete. And they get individual pictures. There's a poster up there, and they get to come in and point to their picture up there, and their buddies get to see them. So again, it's about that recognition. It's about those little things and those details that make the difference. Another question?
No, one more. I saw one over there. We'll do one more, and then Gerald and I are here. We'll share you our emails with you. You can get us stuff, and we'll be happy to keep communicating. But let's take one more.
Well, we're talking about the twist on the shammy whammy. What we've done to make it more fun before our leagues, he suggested, picking the bowler on the team. It might be the third bowler or something. That was the first thing to get out of the boredom of the best bowler shooting all the time. Well, we've done things like we make people throw the ball backwards between their legs, or get on their belly and push the ball, depending on the type of league that you got. We have a ramp where they got to throw it down the ramp, so it really takes the skill level out of there. But we've done things like pick the best-looking bowler on your team. So then they bowl, and let's say it's a doubles league. It works out really good. Then it's the ugliest bowler on your team, so they're all laughing and chuckling and stuff like that. And it just makes it fun. Every twist that you could do to make it more fun for them and get them talking. It could be the person with the longest hair, or if it's a men's league, biggest beard, mustache, whatever. And it's a lot of fun that way.
Definitely another good twist on an idea. And that's what it is. And that's what we had here today, is a bunch of ideas that we just kind of shared with you. You take them, make them your own. Make them your own. Talk to each other. Like Nancy said, we're going to be around, so feel free to talk to us. We'll be here all week. Talk to us. If you want us drop off your card, we can email you. Again, all of those things that were in the presentation are going to be on the Resource Center, so you can download all those flyers. There's even some more that didn't even get put up there, so you can get those there as well. Again, I want to thank you, and thanks for coming out, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Bowl Expo.